Hello, today is Monday. It is October the 15th. And the reading for today comes from the Gospel of John. It's the very first chapter. Now, there are some tremendous truths in that chapter, some wonderful things, and I love many of the verses in that chapter. But what really stood out to me today was, I think, verses that may not have caught my attention, certainly not like they did today when I've read it before. It's the last part of verse 3 and 4 and 5, and it says, "Everything that was created received its life from him, and his life gave light to everyone. The light keeps shining in the dark, and darkness has never put it out." Now, there's a number of ways to translate that verse I'm aware of, and I'm also aware that maybe the verse doesn't mean exactly how I took it, but let me tell you what happened. I read that verse, and immediately the thought about what would happen on earth if the darkness of evil was never pushed back by light and truth and grace. It was a horrifying thought. And I thought about how, in general, life is relatively okay for most of us. There are places in the world where evil seems to be the rule, where evil seems to have the upper hand. But overall on the earth, and certainly around me most of the time, it is not evil that has the upper hand. And this verse says that it is Jesus' work, both in his own life and in the life of his people by implication, that causes the light to keep pushing back the darkness. Boy, and I just thought about what it would be like for darkness to rule and win. Yeah, of course, zombie movies and things like that have that kind of connotation to the horror movies, and there's so many with Halloween coming up. We're getting lots of those kind of movies coming up again. But what if darkness really did overcome light? I am so grateful today that Jesus' light and truth and grace is the assertive factor that will eventually win. And I'm just very overwhelmed by my need and our need of his light. I'm aware, too, that we as his people are supposed to be assertive light bringers, assertive truth tellers, assertive grace carriers. And so my prayer is to live that light and truth and grace out more this week. Perhaps you will feel the same, and you will live his light this week. I hope it has begun good for you and will continue to give you his light and his truth and his grace.